Hey ghosties, I have 3 stories today. The first one is a no sleep one, and then the other 2 are true paranormal encounters. Also, by the way, I've been a little bit sick lately, so that's why this video was filmed at Oliver's mom's house. Watch for my videos next Friday. Those will be right before me and Ollie's 2-year anniversary, and then on our 2-year anniversary, September 9th, we will be baking that cake for 500 subs. But I know I'm at like 600 now. This house is a little bit creepy and haunted, I think. Whenever we're like going to sleep at night and we close that door like to the game room, there's always like this weird presence thing. But this is Skeleton Bob. And Ollie's sister let me use it for the background for little Halloween decoration. So you guys know I'm spooky and cool. There. Join my Discord. The link will be down below. It'll only be good for 7 days, but I have so many cool people in there right now talking. It's so awesome. Say hi if you're from the Discord. My Reddit will be down below. Subscribe if you would like to join my cemetery of ghosts. If you do and you are active, you have the chance to win a boo basket when I hit 1,000 subs. Now let's get into these spooky stories. This first one is a no sleep one. This first story is titled Something Hums at Night, and I think it wants me to listen. This one comes from Reddit user unlikely-egg-3915. Thank you so much for letting me read your story. Now let's get into it. There's a sound my hometown makes. You won't hear it during the day. The background noise is too much, I think. Trucks downshifting, lawnmowers chewing up dead grass, the high-pitched screech of kids playing like they're trying to drown themselves out. But if you wait long enough, if you sit still after midnight with everything off, all the lights killed, and the windows shut tight, you'll hear it. It doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps in. At first, it sounds like nothing. Then it becomes a low hum. Then it starts to vibrate. Deep, mechanical, slow, a kind of snarling, like something enormous is breathing somewhere underground. It gets louder the longer you listen. When I was 17, I'd spend a night in my parents' driveway with Jay and G. We'd sit on the hood of Jay's car, chain smoking and zoning out. Sometimes we talked. Mostly, we didn't. G always pissed against the same pine tree, half asleep on his feet. Jay would say weird shit that should have been, but didn't feel like jokes. One night, he muttered something about chess being a game about extermination. Either you kill or you wait to be killed, and laughed with his teeth clutched tight. We all heard the sound, I'm sure, but none of us acknowledged it. There was the unspoken rule I used to live by, like saying it out loud would make it real or something like that. But it was there, every night, quiet at first, then louder until it felt like the ground itself was humming, not from below, but from the inside, like the whole town was a shell, and something was moving it from its guts outwards. Then came the boar thing, and I actually started to feel like it was a proper haunting. Would you guys hate me if I sat here? I'm gonna sit on the couch weird. It was late, close to 4. We were driving home from one of those after parties that feel like a funeral clad in strobe lighting. G was behind the wheel, eyes glazed. I was in the back seat. The thing came out of nowhere, thudded under the bumper, rolled like wet luggage, and landed in the gravel ditch, twitching. We got out. It was still alive. Its ribs were sticking out of its side like broken scaffolding. One lung had collapsed. The sound it made wasn't an animal sound. It was too rhythmic, too deep. It wheezed, but it wasn't breathing. It was imitating something. To my ears, it was mimicking the hum. I did not say it to J and G, but I want to believe that they felt it too. That thick, metallic grinding, steady as a heartbeat. We didn't talk. Jay threw up in the ditch. G just stared like he was waiting for something to happen. We left the boar there and drove home in silence. The sound didn't stop. It never does. I left that town when I was 19, bounced around shared apartments, sleeping bags, trains. Eventually, I ended up in Bruxelles. 3rd floor, yellow walls, too much light. The parquet always looking wet no matter how clean it is. The bulbs flicker like they're whispering. The radiators tick in code. I can't sleep anymore. Not real sleep. Just benzo blackouts broken by gulps of cold air and the taste of metal behind my teeth. The sound stalks me. It's changed. It used to be distant, just below the horizon, buried in dirt. Now it's in the wiring. It hums through the pipes. It breathes through the vents. It waits behind the mirror like it's trying to push through once and for all. Sometimes it morphs into a thing in my shallow dreams. Not clearly, just the shape, huge, made of teeth and steam and something like bone, but stretched and boiled into chrome. Its face flickers like headlights in the fog. It doesn't move, but it doesn't need to. It knows I'm here. It's watching me the way the head of a factory watches its assembly line. Not curious, just there to make sure all the limbs go through the motion. I read once about a medieval torment used on people accused of witchcraft. They'd hang them from trees in sacks, suspended just low enough to swing. Villagers would beat the bags to keep them awake. Days, weeks, locked outside the realm of sleep, just to see what would happen when the mind broke in silence. Just to force them to spill their guts and do as they were supposed to do. That's what this sound is. A kind of torment. Not an attack. A presence to make me behave the way this wretched cosmos wanted me to. A way to make me go through the motions, even if I don't want to. Especially if I don't want to. I lie awake as I'm writing this, listening. It no longer waits for silence. It doesn't creep anymore. It rumbles. I hear it through the bed frame. I feel it in the floorboards. It's no longer confined to my hometown's dirt. It grew out of it like I did. It's learning how to speak. How to use the spaces between walls like lungs. When I walk from room to room, it follows. As I step outside, it is there as well. When I stare into the drain, I hear it inhale and breathe out. I think it's almost finished building whatever it's been building for me. That project I had to carry out is almost done, and I think it wants me to see it when it steps out of the dark. Take it all in. Maybe no one else ever heard it but me. Maybe it chose all of us. Me, Jay, G. Back when we stood in the driveway trying to outsmoke the sunrise. Maybe we were the first cattle to sense the slaughter. Or maybe the only ones dumb enough to listen. Maybe they are living their lives somewhere far from me, going to the motion too. Maybe I'm not alone. But one thing is sure, I'm here again, louder, close, not humming anymore, not pretending to camouflage. It's breathing, and it wants me to listen. That story's creepy and so well written. I always love how well written stories are, like especially on No Sleep. This second story is titled, I Saw a Cat-Looking Demon Walking Upright When I Was Just a Toddler. And yes, I remember it clearly. And it comes from Reddit user ainthappeningtho. Thank you so much for letting me read your story. Hello everyone. I'll start this by saying I'm looking for similar experiences. If anyone saw anything remotely similar, please tell me since I feel pretty alone in this one. Also, please excuse my English. If you guys have ever heard of anything similar at all, comment down below. I will send them a link to this video, and I'm sure they'll watch this, so your comments would mean so much. This had happened when I was a toddler, around 3 years old, and I'm certain this is not something I imagined, since I was strangely aware, even at my age. I'm 21 now, and I still can't explain what the hell happened, so I'll start with the story. I was laying in the crib that was in my parents' bedroom, looking around, I guess. The lights were turned off, but the door was slightly open, and the TV was on with no sound. There was no one in the room except for me and my baby sister, but she was around 1 at the time and asleep. My crib was right in front of the TV, positioned right below my sister's, diagonally across from the parents' bed. So, from my point of view, I could only see the TV. Out of nowhere, I saw this creature passing by my crib. It looked like a black cat walking upright. It's just that it had no facial features. Was tall, and it looked shadowy. Yes, I could see the outline of the cat-looking ears and the body, but it looked like a well-defined black smoke or something. I remember being calm. I wasn't scared at all at the exact moment, but it stuck with me. Around 6, I started having dreams about it. It would beat me, humiliate me, try to kill me or my family members, impersonate them to get to me, and it lasted until I was around 11. I told my parents about it when we were in the car one day, and I remember my dad's reaction like it was yesterday. He was scared as shit. He's Orthodox Christian, extremely religious, and since I could speak properly, I knew how to pray. I started praying in dreams. Sometimes it would go away, sometimes it wouldn't. He insisted on it being a demon, since he saw something similar when he was 20. The difference is that he accidentally astral projected and saw it, but still. I'm not religious anymore, so we have different views on the situation, but still, to this day I think about it and I'm scared I'm going to see it someday again. I also have this crazy intuition and can sense things. I've had different paranormal experiences, but this one's the worst. I don't know. I'm just looking for someone who has had something similar happen to them. Thank you for reading my story. You can ask me questions about it if you have it. This third and final story is also another experience from someone's childhood. And this is story 3, one of my early encounters with the paranormal. It is from Reddit user PhantomConsular23. Growing up, I've seen plenty of strange things. Some of them I can explain, now being older with a more rational mind. But others still haunt me to this day and send chills up my spine. Please keep in mind that this happened while I was very young, so take it as you will. I'm simply relying on my memory when I was a scared little boy around 16 years ago. For years, I'd seen things in our house. Figures walking by, peeking out from behind doors, and strange sounds. I was roughly 11 years old from what I recall. I used to have a lot of trouble getting to sleep at night, especially on school nights. It was late, probably around 11 p.m. By this time, my father had left for work hours ago. It was only my brother on the top bunk and me on the bottom. My mother slept in another nearby room. It was as I was trying to sleep that I felt eyes on me. I couldn't explain why, but something felt off. That was when I turned from facing the wall to the doorway and froze. There was my dad, standing dead center in the doorway, complete with his work uniform. It was very distinct as he worked at a prison and wore a white button-up shirt with pockets, which is where he attached his ID badge. He also was wearing his black uniform pants and work boots. At first, I felt a sense of calm seeing him, but that quickly faded at the thought that I didn't hear our front door open, nor was there any reason for him to be home. What came next is what haunts me to this day. I felt something was off, but still, it was my dad, so I lifted my hand from under the covers to wave at him. It was only when I acknowledged him that he moved. He proceeded to lift both hands slowly towards me, reaching out as if to grab something in front of him. It was then I noticed the change, where his face began twisting and shifting into a black mass, a swirling shape that seemed to radiate from where his head once was. He then lurched towards me, moving to grab me. At first I was paralyzed with fear, but once I pushed myself to move, I did the only thing I thought I could. I dipped under the covers. Yes, I know, very childish. My thought process at this time was likely something close to, if I can't see it, then it can't get me. Another thing to note is that this thing made no sounds as it moved towards me. I don't know how long I stayed under the covers. I was too terrified to speak, convinced that making a peep would mean it would snatch me and drag me to who knows where. It felt like hours, but eventually I peeked and there was nothing. I huddled in the corner of my bed the rest of the night, watching the door, ready to yell this time. Eventually dawn came, and I was still awake when my dad came home. I never told my parents about this until years and years later. To this day, I don't like talking about it, describing it even. There are all sorts of possibilities with it happening so long ago. Maybe I was tired and imagined it all. Maybe it was all a dream. At the end of the day, you take this as you want. For me, however, I won't ever forget my father's face turning into that dark, shadowy mass and lurching towards me. I felt it in my heart and still feel it to this day. Whatever I saw, whatever it was, fully intended to terrorize me. That's so creepy. And that most definitely wasn't a dream if you were still, awake when your, actual dad got home. And that is so creepy. I hate it when things mimic, anything. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, please like this video, and please comment down below. Go look at my description and join my Discord, and also my Linktree has all my social media. That's about it. I can't wait for all the Halloween vlogs I'll be posting, so you guys stay tuned and keep watching my videos every Friday because I'll always have spooky stories out. Stay spooky, guys!